HR issues can kill you. One complaint against your company can turn your world upside down. And you spend way too much time dealing with HR when you should be spending your time on making a profit. You should talk to Bambi. With Bambi, get access to your own dedicated US-based HR manager starting at just $99 per month. They get to know you and your business while providing HR expertise and the personal touch you need and want. They're available by phone, email, and real-time chat, so onboarding and terminations run smoothly. Team members reach peak performance, and your business stays compliant with changing HR regulations. And with Bambi's HR Autopilot, you'll automate important HR practices like setting policies, training, and feedback. HR managers can easily cost $80,000 a year, but Bambi starts at $99 per month. Schedule your free conversation today to see how much Bambi can take off your plate. Go to Bambi.com right now and type in Accelerate under podcast when you sign up. It'll really help the show. Spelled BAM, BEE.com. Bambi.com. Type in Accelerate.
Every family vacation, my kids break into the can. Can we go to the theme park? Can we go to a ball game? Can we get snacks? It can get expensive. But at Red Roof, we get a great price on clean, comfortable rooms and wake up rested and ready to hit the road again. This summer, when we rest and repeat at Red Roof, staying 2 separate times can earn us a free night. Plus, Ready Reward members can save up to 20% with exclusive rates. Book at redroof.com.
Welcome to Accelerate Your Business Growth with your host, Diane Helbig. Diane is a leading small business development and leadership coach, author, and speaker who is passionate about sharing valuable ideas, tips, and techniques with business professionals worldwide. Diane brings you the world's experts and gurus in all things business. Whether it's sales, structure, social media, planning, or plateauing, guests bring their expertise and energy to each episode. When growing your business is your focus, Accelerate Your Business Growth is the show to listen to. Got a topic or guest suggestion? Let Diane know. The goal is to make sure you have the information you need to move your business forward. Thanks for joining us.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. Today's podcast is sponsored by Audible.com and Gusto. Audible.com is a leading provider of spoken audio entertainment and information. Listen to audiobooks whenever and wherever you want. Get a free book when you sign up for a 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/businessgrowth. Gusto offers modern, easy payroll to benefits to small businesses across the country. They were even named Best Online Payroll by PC Mag. As a listener, you'll get 3 months free when you run your first payroll. Sign up and give it a try at gusto.com/accelerate. That's gusto.com/accelerate. Accelerate Your Business Growth podcast continues to enjoy inclusion on lists of the best podcasts to listen to for business professionals, small business owners, salespeople, aspiring entrepreneurs. We are consistently ranking on lists as a great resource for those audiences. And that is really because of the guests who join me. They share their expertise with all of you so that you can get the information you need for your business and you can implement it, and you can reach out to these folks if you want more. So it's a pretty good thing. And my guest today is Ryan Cote. Ryan is the Director of Digital Services and partner at Ballantine, a third-generation family-owned direct mail and digital marketing company based out of Fairfield, New Jersey. With Ballantine since 2003, a family-owned business started in 1966 by his great-uncle, Ryan now manages the growing digital marketing division. From lead generation to marketing strategy for small businesses, Ryan and his company rise above the get featured quick schemes so often attributed to digital marketing. He loves to geek out on technical marketing talk as well as work with real-world business owners about growing their book of business in today's online world. Thanks so much for joining me today, Ryan.
Hey, Diane. Super happy to be here.
Thrilled to have you here. One of the most interesting things about marketing, where we're living today, is that there's been somewhat of a shift to digital, while at the same time, I think, some people don't realize that traditional or print marketing is still a good avenue. It still can be. So what would you say to a small business owner who said, I want to integrate both? Like, how does someone integrate print and digital marketing?
Yeah, definitely. So at Ballantine, we do both. So I get to see both sides of the marketing pie, direct mail and digital marketing. And everyone says direct mail is dead, but definitely is not. We do a ton of it. But I feel like that happens. I feel like that pops up in everything. Like email is dead, direct mail is dead. I think it's more the word is it's changing. So it's definitely changed over the last 30 years, but definitely not dead. So in terms of integration, for especially for a small business owner, there's a few different things you can look at doing. So typically, small businesses, they're doing postcard marketing. That's because when you talk about direct mail, there's many different types of formats you can mail. A simple postcard, which is obviously more cost effective, to a very complex multi-component package with personalized printing, and it can get really crazy. Even like fancy envelopes and video mailers. But in terms of a small business, typically it's postcards, oversized postcards, 6x9, 6x11 in terms of inches. And so how you integrate print and with digital, there's a few different things you could look at doing. The most common way now is you've got your you've got your address file for the postcards you're sending out to, and then you can upload that list to Facebook and LinkedIn and find the matches. And then, based on, the match rate will vary, but the ones that match, you can run ads to those people. And, it's better if you've got postal and email, because the match rate will be higher. When you give Facebook and LinkedIn more fields to match, the match rate, of course, is going to be higher, especially email, because everyone has to have an email address associated with their social account, whereas address, it's typically not. And then it also depends on the type of mailing that you're doing, because LinkedIn, no one's going to have their personal address up there. So if it's a business mailing or a business to consumer, but I would say that's like it's the easiest way to integrate print and digital, but it's also the most effective way, because essentially what happens is, the people that your prospects or your customers are getting your postcard in the mail, and then a certain percentage of them are also seeing your ad in their news feeds on Facebook or LinkedIn, and that's going to, ideally the creative, the offer is matching. So you're kind of hitting them twice, and maybe they don't recognize or see or pay attention to the postcard, but then they see the ad in their news feed, and then that gets their attention. So it's that, to me, that's like I can give a couple more examples, but that's the easiest and most effective way to integrate print and digital.
Yeah, I think that's a great example. And it's funny because as you were saying it, I was thinking about just recently experiences I have had where I've gotten something in the mail, like from a retailer with a coupon, and then I get an email with the same information in it, or I see something in my Facebook feed. And so that familiarity and that, oh yeah, I saw this somewhere is, it hits a couple of times. Plus, I think it gives people the opportunity to take the information in the way that works best for them.
Exactly. If you've got email, then you can also add a third layer into that and send them email. So they're getting ads in their news feed. They're getting your postcard. They're getting your email. I mean, there's even technology now, Diane, that's coming out. Well, it's already out, but it's a little bit pricey right now for small businesses, I think. I mean, it depends, obviously, but we're seeing some of our larger clients do it now. But it's basically you can add a pixel to your website, and then from that pixel basically gathers your address. I'm not sure, don't ask me how to describe how it does that, but that's as deep as I can go. But the pixel gets that person's address, and then you can send mail to them. So anyone that's on your website, you can send them, a postcard or whatever type of mailer. So that's pretty cool.
Crazy.
I think that'll become more, I've seen the pricing on it. It's like, ooh, but for some people it makes sense. But I think that technology is going to become more and more common and more cost effective. And then that's a really cool way to integrate print and digital. Basically someone's on your website, they know about you. It's kind of, it's like retargeting, but in their mailbox instead of on their computer.
Yeah. Wow. That's wild. And thank you for that, because I wondered what that whole pixel thing was. And I that was a great explanation of that. I appreciate it. Now I get it.
Yeah.
I never even looked at it, because I would, see a little thing about it and I go, okay, but what is it? How does that work? I don't understand. And then I just step off if I can't understand it. So, okay. So let's focus a little bit on digital marketing and talk about ways to drive leads with digital marketing. What are some of those ways that a business can do that?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to give some I guess there are more tips on, I can give you strategies on how to drive leads. For example, we see that search engine optimization and pay-per-click, they drive more leads. It also depends how you define leads. So we see SEO and PPC, search engine optimization and pay-per-click, drive more leads for, let's say, for example, a service business is looking for someone to reach out to them and say, hey, I want to hire you, or I want more information on your services. The reason being is because a person that's doing a keyword search on Google or Bing or Yahoo, they have a need. They're looking for something. They know they want a particular service or a particular product, and so they're going to Google and they're doing a search. So they should convert higher because they're sort of later in the stage of the buying cycle. So we see those convert well, but we also see leads convert well on Facebook in terms of email opt-in. So those are sort of like a softer lead, someone giving you their email address, because Facebook has this ad objective. I think it's called lead form objective. And basically it makes it very easy for someone to give you their email address because Facebook already has that information. So basically you run an ad, like download our white paper or whatever it is. They click, yes, I'm interested, or learn more. A pop-up shows, and your information, your name and your email is already pre-populated because Facebook has it on you. And then you just have to confirm that you want the white paper. So it's basically essentially 2 clicks. You don't have to do any typing. So we see a lot of success with capturing email opt-in / leads using Facebook. So those are 2, I guess, strategies. But one thing I want to mention is that, video is becoming more and more important. It sells well. It's so engaging. You can do so much with it. There's so many different ways you can repurpose video. But video also helps you sell, helps you generate leads. It creates a more personalized, engaging approach on your website, like a more engaging element on your website that helps get more leads. And when it comes to your website, don't forget about the basics and these all help with getting leads is, make sure that your website loads fast, especially if you care about SEO, because Google, that's one of the ranking factors. Same thing with mobile friendliness. That's a ranking factor. And it just helps convert leads. And then, and call to actions. And we still see this a lot with clients that we onboard, is that their website, it has like a contact link in the navigation, but it's missing like clear call to actions, especially on the service page or the product pages. You want to make sure all those pages have clear call to actions. So if they're reading if they're reading your content, they get down to the bottom, like make sure there's something there that they can click or opt into, or something, just a clear call to action to make it easy for them to raise their hand.
That's very interesting. That's really interesting. I never would have thought about that. I mean, it makes sense. I don't know why I wouldn't have. I guess there's a lot of, maybe it's misunderstanding about call to actions and calls to action and when you should have them and where you should have them. Or what that call to action is. Is it buy my product? Is that only on the website that you can say things like that? Or I don't know.
It's going to vary from website to website. One thing we're testing now, I think it might border on the line of like obnoxious, but we're just testing it out just to see what it does. It's called push notifications. Not too many websites use it, but if you've ever been to a website, and if you go to Ballantine.com, you'll see it, unless we decide to remove it soon. But it'll ask you, it'll pop up, will show up on your browser saying, hey, Ballantine wants to send you messages, or I can't remember what it says, but it says Ballantine wants to send you messages, allow or disallow. And if you click allow, what happens is we're able to send you. So basically what happens is, and we don't do anything spammy. So basically what we do, just to kind of give you like a real world example, is when we produce new content for our blog, which is weekly, we'll send out an email to our list. We'll post it on social media, do all that stuff. But then we also send out a push notification to people that have subscribed to allow us to send them messages. And we'll say, hey, we just published a new blog. Check this out on direct mail or on Facebook or whatever. So we're always pushing out value. It's never like buy.
Yeah.
We're just using it as another way to like syndicate or distribute our content. And then basically what happens is when we send out that push notification, if you have allowed that message, that push notification, a little pop-up shows up in your browser that says, hey, here's our content, and they can click on it to read it. And the cool thing is that if they're not on the browser, the pop-up will show when they fire up their browser. Let's say you push it out, but they're on a business trip or you have the day off and you're not online until the next day. It'll show that next day when they open up their browser. So that's, just things
that's wild.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. See, I never knew about that one either. So you're testing it to see if people actually say yes?
You know what? A lot of people are saying yes. It makes me think, I wonder if they know what they're saying yes to. And I'm okay with it because we're marketing, so we're testing, and everything we provide is value. We generally try to provide a lot of value. And so, but what we're seeing is we get about 10 a day opt-in, but we get a lot that unsubscribe. But I think, it's because, with email, you see a lower opt-in rate, but you see a lower unsubscribe rate. I think because push notifications, it's easy to subscribe, but it's also easy to opt out. So I think it makes sense, and we're just trying it. We're seeing if it contributes, to our traffic, and if the traffic is, high quality traffic. But it's something that I think your audience might want to test and see if it's just another source of traffic for them.
Yeah, I love this idea. I do want to remind them that what you said was you're always providing valuable content. Yep. Right? Because that is a key to being successful with something like that.
It is. Even our newsletters. If you ever get one of our newsletters, there's a little bit of information about Ballantine, but it's really 80% like, here's some industry news you should know about. Here's some content. Here's a video we recorded with more tips. Oh no, by the way, did you know we also do pay-per-click or, direct mail? It's just a little bit.
Right.
So that's how we do it. Everyone's got their own way of doing it. But that's how we do it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that. I think when you are providing good, relevant information, you're helping people see that you know what you're talking about. You're giving them an opportunity to, cross that trust divide.
Yeah.
So they can make a decision about you, and they're getting educated at the same time. So you're, it's a give. I would say give back, but it's sort of a pay it forward sort of thing, which I think is valuable in marketing.
I think that's really where things are going too. I think it's like what Gary Vaynerchuk said. What did he say? Jab, 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 right hook. I'm probably getting that wrong, but the basic premise is you provide a lot of value, and position yourself as an authority and try to help people. And then sometimes you ask for something in return, like, hey, do you want to, interested in a free consultation, or in his case, buy my book, or whatever the case is.
Right.
So.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I'm all about that. Okay. I have to take a quick sponsor break, and then I have some more questions for you.
Okay, great.
Accelerate Your Business Growth podcast is happy to be sponsored by Audible.com and Gusto. Audible.com is a leading provider of spoken digital audio entertainment and information. They have over 150,000 titles to choose from, and you can listen to them on any device, including whatever you're hearing us on right now. And if you sign up at our link, which is audibletrial.com/businessgrowth, you get one free audiobook and a 1-month trial of the service. Some examples of books you can listen to on audible.com are Breathe to Succeed by Sandy Abrams and Leading Loyalty by Lena Renee. So visit audibletrial.com/businessgrowth. Explore the books that are of interest to you and receive one free audiobook when you sign up for the trial. Everyone loves payday, but loving a payroll provider? That's a little weird. Still, small businesses across the country love running payroll with Gusto. Gusto automatically files and pays your taxes. It's super easy to use, and you could add benefits and management tools to help take care of your team and keep your business safe. It's loyal, it's modern. You might fall in love yourself. Listeners get 3 months free when they run their first payroll. Try a demo and test it out at gusto.com/accelerate. That's gusto.com/accelerate. Today we're speaking with Ryan Cote about adding digital marketing to traditional print marketing. So let's talk a little bit about brand awareness and some tips for people on how they can raise their brand awareness. What do you think they can be doing?
Sure. So, an easy way is, so not to get technical here, but like with a website, every page has what's called a title tag and a meta description. And typically the title and the title tag and the meta description is what Google pulls in, and all search engines pulls into like the search results. So when you see, not always, but often, so when you're going through Google, for example, and you see like the blue headline and then the text below it, that's the title tag, and then below that, the meta description. So an easy way is to just add your brand terms to the metadata so that as you produce more content, as your site gets more traffic organically, and your site thus shows more in the search results, your brand is being shown more because it's being shown in the title tag, it's being shown in the meta description. So that's like an easy thing that anyone can do just to get their company seen more often as their organic visibility grows. Another thing is that, the beauty of like Facebook and all the social media channels is that, their advertising platform, especially Facebook, you can really cost effectively advertise to people that know you. So, once you get fans on Facebook, or you put the pixel on your site and you develop an audience from your past website visitors, or even upload your email list and get the matches, you can do it different ways. For, very cost effectively, you can sort of drip on your audience with content, your brand, your message, and it doesn't take a whole lot of budget to do that. So it's another way just to kind of drip on your audience with your content, with your information, and showcasing your authority, and increase your brand awareness. And then obviously good content. If you create really good content, video, infographics, really shareable, lengthy authority guides, stuff that people are going to take notice of, especially because there's so much content produced nowadays. You kind of have to go the extra mile. Add images to your blogs, for example. Make sure you're adding external and internal links, and just making the content really helpful. Video, graphics, all that stuff. Create really good content that people want to share, and thus spread your brand around. So those are just a few things that come to mind, for increasing brand awareness.
Those are great. And the second one, you start talking about like Facebook advertising, and I'm wondering if we can go a little deeper, and if you can share some effective paid online marketing or advertising strategies.
Specific to Facebook?
No, specific to just online. Sorry,
Oh, okay.
Just what are some that are online, because this is something small business owners struggle with. They will sign up for something because they heard somebody say something about it, and then $1,000 later it hasn't done anything, and it's because they didn't do it effectively, or they didn't know what they were doing, or whatever. So I'm curious about what is effective when it comes to paid online advertising.
Yeah, sure. And yeah, you're right. It's serious because you're paid advertising, so you're paying money. So the first thing I would say is make sure you're tracking everything. So we use CallRail to track phone calls. So you add a little snippet of code on your site, and it'll track where your phone calls are coming from. Did it come from paid? Did it come from organic? Did it come from Facebook? You could track exactly how many phone calls you're getting and where the phone calls came from, and then make sure your form submissions, make sure you're tracking that in Google Analytics. So first step for you to do any type of paid advertising, to make sure you have all your tracking set up, phone calls, forms, and form submissions. Make sure that's all set up. In terms of strategies, I mean, the first thing we always recommend is retargeting or remarketing, however you want to call it. If you've ever gone to Amazon, put something in your cart, and then left without buying, it'll haunt you for the rest of your life. And that's remarketing, retargeting. It's basically like showing banner ads to past website visitors. And the good thing about that is that you're spending all this money to get people there, and then they're a good chunk of them leave, and you don't know who they are. And then you have a second opportunity, a second chance to advertise to them with banners and hopefully bring them back. So and it's very cost effective because you typically only pay when someone clicks. And so that's the first thing I would say to your audience is that you make sure you're setting up retargeting. And you could do that on Google. You can use a platform like AdRoll. You could do retarget on Facebook and LinkedIn. And those are the three main channels for retargeting. I would also do Google Ads. It used to be called Google AdWords. Now it's called Google Ads. And that's where you're bidding on keywords. Just make sure you set a budget. Make sure you set a monthly budget so you just don't get completely slaughtered on the spend. You want to make sure you have how much you comfortably can afford to invest, and then set that monthly budget within the campaign. That way that you're not going to go way over. And then just be, Google Ads could be a whole separate conversation, but I would say just as a starting point, start small, handful of keywords. Make sure you set the budget. You can even run the ads during office hours. So if you do get any phone calls, you have a good chance of getting that person. If we're talking about like a service business, you have a good chance of getting that person on the phone when they call you. But just start small, because Google Ads, there's a lot to it, and it can be very easy to get overwhelmed by it. So just start small. Facebook, LinkedIn, we sort of touched upon that, but basically uploading your list, running ads to your matches. LinkedIn, if you're a business to business, you can run ads to people that have certain job titles or in certain industries. You can even run ads to people that are part of certain groups. And say there's a group for like an association where your target audience hangs out, and they have a group. You can run ads to the members of that group. So it's really cool for like a business to business use, LinkedIn. And then I guess the last thing I would say is, if you're going to do paid advertising, try to think of how you can, don't look at each channel as like a solo, like an island. Figure out a way to like kind of integrate all the different channels. Just as like a good example is, like, if you're going to produce blog content, make sure you're optimizing it for SEO. Make sure you're throwing it up on Facebook and LinkedIn, running ads to it. Okay, paid ads to it. And then, if it makes sense, send it out in your email. Try to use your content or whatever the marketing channel is in multiple ways, including paid advertising. We try to weave together all the channels as much as possible, because we really do find that it kind of lifts everything up when you kind of weave all the channels together. You don't want to just put a blog post on your site and just say that's it. And yeah, eventually Google will find it and you'll get organic traffic, but send it out in your email, put it on social, run ads, maybe run PPC traffic to it if it makes sense. Just think of different ways to kind of combine all the channels to get better results.
I think that's great. And so let's talk about, because I completely agree with you, it should be an integrated effort. So let's talk about, are there certain industries where integrating digital with, say, print makes more sense than others? Or do you think any industry can be, or is it better business to consumer, or do you think business to business? What are your thoughts on that? Is it anybody should be doing that, or are there certain industries where it works better?
I think if we're talking about the first example with print, sending out a postcard, then uploading your list to Facebook and running ads to the matches, I think that's applicable to any industry, because Facebook has like a billion users, so your audience is most likely on Facebook, or will be, and most industries, they need the multiple touch points, because we're all very busy and sort of distracted, and there's just a ton of marketing messages coming to us. So multiple touch points is applicable to any industry. I guess the only thing that comes to mind if I'm thinking about integrating print and digital, and whether or not an industry is more prone to it, is that we've done some integration with print and digital where we'll send out a postcard and there'll be what's called a personalized URL redirect. And so a personalized URL redirect is basically just like a domain name with a person's name in it. You probably have seen them in the past. They're not as popular anymore. They're called pearls or personalized URLs. The personalized URL redirect. Have you heard of it before?
Yeah, when you said Pearl, it rang a bell with me.
Yeah, that's typically what they're called, pearls. The Pearl redirect, it looks the same. It's got a domain name, so whatever, xyz.com/john.doe or whatever. And the Pearl redirect it just redirects to whatever website you want. So it's like instead of you send out a postcard, instead of including your regular website, you would include a Pearl redirect. It still goes to your website. It just has the person's name in it, and it redirects to your domain. The reason you do that is because the Pearl redirect enables you to see who went to your website. So it provides tracking, like how many people went to your website, but actually who went to your website. And so I'm going to make the story make sense in 10 seconds here. So the reason that's good is that if it's typically business to business, if you're selling business to business, you're mailing out a postcard, you're doing it because you want sales, you want leads. And so a Pearl redirect, including a Pearl redirect on a postcard, enables the sales team to get back a list of, okay, we sent out this postcard and we had these 50 people. We had 50 people go to the website, and because of the Pearl redirect, we know exactly who the 50 people were. So then we can make phone calls to them. And so that's a good way for B2B to integrate print and digital for the sales team to have like a kind of like a lukewarm list of leads to follow up with.
Okay. Boy, I so appreciate that, because I was trying to figure out how I guess, so when you would do that sort of a mailing, that's got variable data? Does it just create it for like whoever it's going to? I'm trying to figure out how you even create the Pearl.
Yeah. I can name a software that does it. I'm not affiliated with them. I'm not trying to give them a plug, but if you're okay with me mentioning them, I can.
Sure.
Okay. It's there's software, and there's a few others. These aren't the only ones out there, but Pearlem, so Purlem, Pearlem.com. It's software where you upload your mail file. It creates the pearls for you. Pearls meaning like your domain / first name, last name. And then you just tell it, okay, well, when someone visits the Pearl, capture who it was, but where do you want me to send them? Okay, send them to this website. And so it just, instead of using your regular website on the mail piece, you use this Pearl, and that way you can see who. And it's just good for sales team because it just feeds them sort of like a lukewarm list of leads.
Yeah, it sounds great. It sounds like a great idea. That's so interesting. And I love that. I mean, that is such a great integration. Everything plays off of each other. You're able to track things, which is so important. Wow.
Yeah, tracking. It's, the Pearl redirects, it's kind of like when you send out an email and you get the click data from any provider, MailChimp or whoever. You can see who clicked. And so you essentially could, when you send out a newsletter, you can download who clicked, and then you can call those people like, hey, whatever you say to them. It's like that. It's the same thing with email, and again, the click data with the postcard. With the Pearl redirect, you can see who went to your website from the postcard, and so it can be effective in a B2B application.
Wow, I can so see it in the B2B application. Wow. Okay, I like that one a lot. Are there any other interesting tricks that you know about that you want to share?
Yeah, I can end it with an SEO strategy if that works.
Oh, sure. Thanks.
That we've seen work very well lately. Okay, I'm gonna go down another rabbit hole, but this one's I think it's gonna really help your audience. So when you produce blog content, typically you're keyword optimizing it. Keyword optimizing it meaning adding keywords to it, making sure that it's around a topic that you want traffic from, or keywords you want traffic from, I should say. And so what we do, and it's called the content upgrades. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you have your website in Google Search Console. You can do Google Analytics too, but Search Console gives you a lot more data. in terms of impressions and clicks. So basically what, Google, it used to be called Webmaster Tools. So hook up your site into Google Search Console. It's free. And then once data starts coming in, you'll be able to see on a per page basis how many clicks your web pages are getting, which you can just get in analytics. And you can see how many impressions your pages are getting. Impressions meaning it showed up in the search results for a keyword search. It doesn't mean they clicked. It just means it was one of the results for the keyword search. So impressions and clicks. And then what you want to do is, after you've been writing enough blog content, you'll notice that some do better than others. Okay. And you want to look in Search Console and you want to pick out the ones that have a lot of impressions, meaning Google likes it. It's showing it for a lot of searches. Okay. So a lot of impressions. And then what you want to do is you want to add content to those blogs that are doing very well, that have a lot of impressions. So don't change the content. Just add more content to it. Kind of refresh it, add more. If it's like 5 ways to whatever, maybe make it 7 ways to whatever. Add more content using the right keywords. Okay. And so what happens is you're kind of giving Google more of what it already likes. And every time we do that, and that's why it's called a content upgrade, because you're upgrading the content. Every time we've done that, that blog post just does better and better and better and better. And if you think about it, if you've got 10 that are like that and you're upgrading 10 blogs, then you've got 10 that are doing better and better and better in terms of organic traffic. So it's a very easy strategy for your audience to take advantage of.
Boy, no kidding. That's awesome. Wow. Okay. Ryan, I really appreciate this information, and I appreciate how where you're coming from on it, because you've got the print direct mail history, with the company, and you've got the digital marketing, and you are a little geeky, a little techie about it, which is great.
I'm sounding very nerdy in this interview.
Somebody has to be, right? It's really awesome, but it's connective, and it's understandable, which is really valuable, because I think marketing is one of the things that small business owners understand the least about. And it's like this big mystery, but this is great. And I'm understanding what you're saying. And if I'm understanding it, I know the listeners are, because they're smarter than I am. So
it's a lot to take in. I trust me, I'm in this every day, and I still rely on my team here, because it's like, I just found out some new things with Facebook and Instagram that I didn't know about. So I fortunately have a very good team here that I have to pick their brain, because there's just too much to know, and it's changing every day. So it's very easy to get overwhelmed with this stuff.
Well, speaking of your team, will you let the listeners know how they can find you and your company, and how they can reach out?
Sure, absolutely. So definitely connect me on LinkedIn. That's Ryan Cote, COTE, LinkedIn. And then I also have a special page for your audience, and there's a link for me on LinkedIn, but also there's an offer for a free website analysis that I personally do via video, like via screen share. Basically, I open up your site, I take a look at your SEO and some other parts of your digital, and just give you my feedback. It's like a 10-minute video analysis, and that's free to your audience. So if you go to Ballantine.com, that's BALLANTINE.com/AYBG for Accelerate Your Business Growth, AYBG. You'll see the page and the offer.
Oh, that's so great. Thank you. That is very nice of you.
Thanks for having me.
Believe me, it was my pleasure. And listeners, I like to thank you guys. You're why we're here doing this thing. This was some great content. Go to Ballantine.com/AYBG and sign up for that website review. You can't change what you don't acknowledge, as Dr. Phil says. So you need to know what's really going on, so then you can do better things. And I'd like to thank our sponsors, Audible.com and Gusto. To get your free trial of Audible.com and a free audiobook, just go to audibletrial.com/businessgrowth to sign up. For payroll processing you'll love, sign up for a demo of Gusto today at gusto.com/accelerate. Listeners get 3 free months when they run their first payroll. As always, continue to prosper and be curious. And until we meet again on another episode of Accelerate Your Business Growth, goodbye and good day.
Me, but also you. The Pharaoh fast forwards his favorite foreign film, Powder Donut. Okay, what's my line?
The only line I see here on the script is get options based on your budget with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive.
Oh man, that's a tongue twister, huh? I'm sorry, I'm gonna need a few more minutes. Bulbous Walrus, the Bulbous Walrus.
The Name Your Price tool, only from Progressive.
The owl ran afoul of the comatose coxswain.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Me, but also you. The Pharaoh fast forwards his favorite foreign film, Powder Donut. Okay, what's my line?
The only line I see here on the script is get options based on your budget with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive.
Oh man, that's a tongue twister, huh? I'm sorry, I'm gonna need a few more minutes. Bulbous Walrus, the Bulbous Walrus.
The Name Your Price tool, only from Progressive.
The owl ran afoul of the comatose coxswain.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
The average person experiences up to 10,000 marketing efforts each day. Those ideas are culled from millions of possibilities. The CMO Confidential podcast takes you behind the scenes to learn about the decisions, drama, politics, and glory that go with one of the most scrutinized jobs in the executive suite, the Chief Marketing Officer. Guests from all over the business world join Mike Linton, a 5-time CMO, to share stories about what it's really like in the marketing universe.